Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me in this session of Author Live. Today, I'm in conversation with Uttam Mukherjee, and we're going to talk about his book, Devils of Dubai. So, first of all, thank you so much, Uttamji, for joining me in this session. And would you like to introduce yourself and your book, please?
Okay, you're most welcome. Now, to introduce myself, I say I am a chartered accountant by training and education.
Mhm.
Then I worked with a few multinational companies as well as Indian companies.
Mhm.
And in the later years, I held leadership positions like general manager, vice president, then director of finance in a few of these companies.
Okay.
Then I took voluntary retirement, and then I had a lot of free time on my hands.
Okay.
I was only responsibility that I had at that time I was the chairman of the housing society in which we used to live in. Now I had a lot of free time, so I thought initially that I'll become a singer. So I bought a harmonium. I'm
Wow.
telling you in detail. Is it necessary to tell
No,
you?
no, please
Anyway,
go ahead, sir. It's okay.
so I bought a harmonium,
Hmm?
then took harmonium lessons from YouTube videos.
Okay.
Then I got the notations from the net of Tagore songs and practiced quite a few of them.
Okay.
Now, in Calcutta, what happens is in every locality, certain programs are held. 4 or 5 programs are held during the year,
Hmm.
where people recite poems, and men and women they sing. Then dancing programs are there. Then
Yes.
dramas are etc. So I used to sing there regularly,
Wow.
at
No,
least four
that's
times.
amazing.
I, people praised me that
Hmm.
you are singing well. So I used to take part there, and for that, for each program, I had to practice a lot because I was a learner almost. But I used to perform well at that time. But
Okay.
after maybe 2 years, I got bored. I,
Mhm.
I, I thought I got stuck somewhere. I cannot go any further. It's not so
Okay.
easy. Then this idea struck me. Why don't I start writing?
Mm.
Because in my youth, I read a lot of books, especially of this genre.
Okay.
So I started. I thought I'd write books. Okay, and then I wrote a Bengali novel,
Mhm.
crime thriller. And when it was published, everybody said that you can write books well. Okay, because it doesn't appear to be the first book of an author. They
Mhm.
said so. You have the knack for writing. So with that encouragement, I wrote about 5 6 novels in
Mhm.
Bengali. Then I thought, let me increase my readership
Mhm.
and let me reach out to pan India readers. So I started writing in English. So
Okay.
my first novel was The Mystery of the Genes, which was
Right.
published last year. Hmm. And it was well taken across the country,
Mhm.
selling well. And then this next book, which you are the publisher,
Yes.
Devils of Dubai.
Mhm.
Okay. And to talk about me regarding other things, traveling is a passion.
Mhm.
Traveling, I have visited dozens of countries on several continents, and I
Mhm.
have visited almost all the spots in India.
Mhm.
With videography and photography of all the places I visit, or all the interesting things that I come across. Then I was an avid swimmer actually. I used to swim at least 3 evenings a week
Wow.
before this COVID, before this
Right.
COVID happened.
Right.
So many people do morning walk and other things, so I used to do swimming.
Mhm.
Then what else? I play billiards, etc. This is a normal thing. I mean,
Right.
moderate.
I think what I'm getting from this conversation, Uttamji, is that you are very creative and you have a passion for life itself. Because you, at your age, you have tried so many things, between in these 3 4 years itself when COVID has struck. So that's first of all amazing. And of course, we'll get more into that as well because I feel like your passion for life and your travels reflect in your writing a lot as well. So, would you like to give us a brief about what Devils of Dubai is about, the book?
Okay.
Mm.
See, the story begins in a joyful atmosphere.
Mm.
My two detectives, are lady detectives actually,
Mhm.
Yashodhara Rai and Rajeshwari Chaudhary. Just a second. Actually, after solving two difficult and strenuous cases, they were holidaying in Dubai, and a nice vibe was created there. And suddenly, a murder happened, and that too, the victim was the top leader in a business conglomerate which was owned by Indian family. So they were casual into accepting the case. Dubai police was conducting the investigation in a very thorough manner, but little progress was made. So they were working in tandem now, but suddenly then another murder happened. And the involvement of a professional killer or a professional killer group was obvious there. So these two lady detectives were moving around Dubai a lot. They're visiting so many places and interviewing people and all. Ultimately, they could get one clue, and with that, they went to Abu Dhabi and met one person clandestinely. All were wearing burqas and all in the Grand Mosque at Abu Dhabi. In the middle of the story, the involvement of a Russian oil company was discovered. And as naturally, any Russian organization, ex-KGB persons were also there. And then there was this tech-savvy, professional killers with state-of-the-art snooping equipments. They were tracking the competitors and all.
Yes.
So, so ultimately, what do I say there? And then should I tell you the whole story or something like that? No.
No, sir, you have to. We want the readers to read your book, right? So it needs to be spoiler free. But basically, this is a mystery thriller, right?
The mystery thriller. The ultimate combat with the takes place with the heavily built Russian.
Yes.
Who unlimited resources like money, like muscle power, guns, etc. But for the last mile combat, they took the help of the Dubai police.
Right.
And it's an engaging story. It's an engaging story. It's unique. It has a unique theme, and mysteries also happen. So those who like detective stories, they will like it.
Yeah, and from your history that you've talked about, it feels like you have a knack for writing thrillers, because your last book was also an action thriller, right? So, where did this come from? Did you always have an interest in this genre?
Yes, yes. I had very much interest in this genre. Actually, in my youth, I used to read a lot. See the Sir Conan Doyle, Ian Fleming, Agatha Christie, Frederick Forsyth, Al Stanley Gardner. Then James Headley Chase was very, very popular at that time. Then, of course, later on, this Dan Brown and Bissam and all.
Yes.
So maybe because of that, I could think naturally that I should write crime thrillers.
Right.
And after reaching particular age, I cannot write romantic novels now.
Okay.
If I wrote them earlier, I could have continued now. But starting to write a romantic novel at this point of time, I thought it would not be proper.
Oh, that's really funny. But I also really like how, you kind of bring in, your passion for writing from your youth, because and writing and reading, because as you mentioned, you've read so many prolific authors in this genre, and you're able to so easily write these stories. So, you must have heard this, like writing a mystery thriller is kind of difficult, because you have to come up with like these plot, you have to come up with ways with which you can shed light on certain things, and you have to make sure that the readers don't catch where you're going. So how do you do that exactly? Like, what's your writing process like?
Writing process is see, I follow all current happenings, etc. Okay, and science subjects is a type of hobby for me, because I keep news of whatever is happening in the field of science, etc. Now, my stories centers around a theme. There is a central theme always. Like in the case of the first book, The Mystery of the Genes, the genetic research was the central theme. What happened is, one American company, multinational company, wanted to stop this research project. They thought this becomes successful, then they are patented medicine which sells all over the world. That
Mm-hmm.
sale will plummet.
Mm.
So they somehow they appointed hired assassins, and they were camouflaged, disguised levels also, one after another level. They wanted to destroy and kill these people, etc. So there, since it's on genetic research, I had to read a lot and supply that information to the reader about
Mm.
genes,
Right.
about human genome project, about gene replacement theory, all
Yes.
the amazing facts about genetics of plants and animals, etc.
Mhm.
All these inputs have been given there. So in my books, you will not find any factual mistake anywhere, because I take all care.
Mm.
Before starting to write, I spent huge time in researching and studying things
Uh,
about this book,
yeah.
Devils of Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
See the current turmoil that is taking place in the global oil market.
Mm-hmm.
That attracted my attention. That is number one.
Yes.
Number two is, see the ADNOC means the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company.
Mm-hmm.
They, about 2 years back, they advertised in the newspapers inviting international bidding for
Mm.
extraction of oil fields in their onshore and offshore oil fields,
Right.
and that total area was about 34,000 square feet. They invited, so the contracts are worth billions and billions of dollars. So then this idea, from this central theme,
Mm-hmm.
corporate espionage is the central theme actually here,
Mm-hmm.
because as I told you in the story, these Russian people were doing like this,
Yes.
etc., etc. So with that kind of thing, and now here also I did a lot of study and a lot of research also in this, so that I so whatever data I can give, because readers these days are quite smart. They not only want a story, but they want to enhance their knowledges also in respect of as many fields as possible. For a
Yeah.
book, if they get knowledge, they like it also. People
Right.
told me that to learn about these things. So that way, then I start writing the book.
Mm-hmm.
That will I write, and I revise it. I revise the manuscript several times.
Mm-hmm.
For initially there are technical mistakes, this that. When the flow comes, you just go on writing. You do
Mm.
not bother about the on and all. But
Yeah.
I manuscript several times before I send it to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my writing process.
Right. And like your research is definitely very thorough. And I also really like how you are so considerate about your readers. You want to supply information, as much information as you can in your book, so that they are also informed of the current events. Which I also really like how you shed lights on so many social and political issues in your books. Like, just the fact that the global oil trade, that you talk about it and you make it a central theme of your book. And also you have women detectives as your protagonists, which is again such an amazing thing to do. So where do these ideas come from? Because it's like, when people start writing a book, they have a one singular idea and they broaden it in their ways. But you put in so much effort, like research, and including current events, and also like just equality of men and women in your stories. So where does this come from, sir?
Now, as I told you, how do I begin to write a story? I told you that whatever current event
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
is exciting me to write a story.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, on genetics, on this oil and corporate espionage, that is the starting point. Then
Yes.
I do all this research work and all, and then
Mm-hmm.
I build the story.
Right. And do you also get feedback from people around you about your story, or like, how your story is progressing?
See, I will say one thing here. See, Indian readers do not have the habit. I do not know. Actually, they might be giving these reviews and ratings to big authors, since they will want others to find out that he has read this book, so he puts his comment there. But for new authors, they're so lazy they do not come back, because suppose in a month I find that this book has sold so many copies, so I
Hmm.
expect two, three at least will come from them, ratings and review.
Yeah.
Because if somebody criticizes my book thoroughly, I gain from that.
Mm-hmm.
But then the ratings are given by the acquaintances or friends, etc., who are known to me. and they naturally they will give you higher rating
Yeah.
because they want to serve my purpose. They think that okay, we are using his book, this much is. But I normally see there they all say, even when in person they say, oh, this is a nice book, we read it, etc., etc. But what is needed more is the if somebody tells me that here you should have done this, or here this is lacking pace, or this and that, that would have helped me. But then what can be done?
Right.
Indian readers do not have the habit of giving ratings and review to new authors. That much I is my experience.
Yeah, I mean, definitely writers definitely go through a struggle period themselves, when they are writing and when they publish their book. There are different struggles that come after that as well. But even then, you persist in your writing, right? Because you already, like, do you already have a plan for a third book?
Yes, yes, it's on the way.
It's on the
I'm
way.
writing it.
Would you like to announce a little bit about it? Maybe, get our readers a little excited about what's to come next?
That stage I have not reached as yet.
Okay.
That is one. Second thing is I am not that big a writer that let me reach that stature when people will be waiting to hear my announcement.
Okay. So, apart from writing mystery thrillers, is there anything else you want to dabble into? I mean, definitely you don't want to dabble into romantic stories, that much you have made clear. But, are there other kinds of writing or genres of writing that you're interested in?
If I write, then I'll write a travelogue and say,
Okay.
okay, stories on travels.
Right.
That
So,
I don't know whether the
sorry, can you
good
repeat
market is that or not. I do not know
that?
whether there is a good market for that or not.
No, there
But
definitely there are so many travel logs and, like, travel stories that people are inspired by, or even they even write fictional stories about their own travels. Which reminds me that, you've talked so much about the UAE and Dubai in this book, in Devils of Dubai. Does that information also come from your travels, because you have traveled a lot?
no, no, yes, yes, yes. I have been to Dubai several times,
Okay.
so that's why there is a lot of information on Dubai. Those who have
Mm-hmm.
visited Dubai, those who have not visited Dubai, of both
Mm-hmm.
the classes, there's some information about Dubai there.
Right. So even for writing the setting of your book, or the place where it's taking place. So does it come from your memory, or do you also look up things to, write the background of the story, basically?
No, whatever is there in my mind, I put it on paper.
Oh,
Uh, I, I didn't get you properly, possibly.
so what I meant was that, because
From
you
my own
travel so
experience.
much.
Yes, yes, those things I'm putting there in the book.
Okay, okay. Okay, that's amazing. And
Those are real facts. Those are real fact actually. And I
right.
say in my book, anything which is not accurate.
Right, right, right. So, because you're talking about, maybe wanting to write travel logs and stuff. So, is there a particular place in your mind or a country that you visited which inspired you to do so?
No, since you mentioned, that's why I told you about writing a travelogue.
Okay.
But not thought about it much. I'll stick to my genre now.
Okay.
Produce some more. And then maybe I'll move to that genre.
All right. So, the
Mhm.
other thing that I really wanted to discuss with you, Uttamji, is how you took up writing later in your life, right? Because you took a voluntary retirement, and after that, you kind of pursued other creative interests and then came back to writing. So, there are so many people who think that, they have a knack for writing, but they never get to explore that. And sometimes they think that, because they have reached a certain age, it's they don't really have a time anymore, or like people wouldn't want to read their stories anymore. So could you tell us, like, how you were inspired to start writing at your age, and what advice you can give to more such people who would want to write?
Actually, I am not that big an author to give advice to people, but since you are asking me, I can give you some some points to them.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, read a lot, and
Mm.
especially a genre in which you'll be writing.
Right.
And then second thing will be uh, have faith in yourself.
Mm.
Have faith in, because it may not be that your first book is very successful.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you have to have faith in yourself. And third thing is, the third thing that I'll say is, do a SWOT analysis of yourself and
Mm-hmm.
choose the area where you think your strength lies and the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity exists.
Right.
That way, that will be my advice to others who want to write. And on your first question, see, age these days do not matter,
Mm.
because you have to acquire knowledge and evolve.
Yeah.
You have to evolve from one stage to another stage. You
Right.
cannot get your old occupation and all.
Mm.
So you have to learn new things, and there is no age for learning new things. That much I can tell you. Because
Yeah.
if I didn't know how to play on harmonium, but as I became an expert in no
Right.
time.
Right.
Because some of the singers, they told me that it will take us 3 years, 4 years, etc. But in 6 months when I started singing, they said, "How is that possible?" I said that I didn't do any extra thing.
Right.
Anyway, one has to evolve and one has to have faith in oneself. That's
Mm.
very important. That's why it was my advice there. And one can go on doing things.
Mm. Right. And apart from
Robert,
writing,
there is no age for anything. Today's news,
yeah.
did you hear that Robert De Niro became a father at the
Yes.
age of
Oh, yeah, I
79?
did. Yes, I did read that yesterday. So yeah, definitely.
79.
Like that's why I said, like, I really like the fact that, you've taken up so many creative interests, and your interest is so magnified because you mentioned that, you learned how to play a harmonium in 6 months, and you've been like, releasing books after books, because, people take years to write a book. But you have been like, you released a book last year and you've released a book this year. So when can we expect your next book? Like next year, this year? What are your plans?
Next year, definitely next year. Because
Next.
there should be some time gap.
Yeah.
Because this time when I told people that my another book has published, they said, "You have already written one book."
Yeah, they might also be kind of surprised that, you're writing so quickly.
Yes, yes, they have to purchase now. So they are saying, so fast you have written another. So there
That's
should be some gap, but definitely next year, 2024, another book will come.
okay. And again, the same genre I'm expecting.
Yes, yes, same genre.
That's nice. So,
Right.
are you also inspired by movies to write in the thriller genre?
Mm, I do not know.
Okay.
I have thought about it, because my stories are completely different than
Okay.
the other ones. It's not a whodunit type of mystery.
Yeah.
Murder happens, and who murder? Not that type. It's a different kind of. So maybe at the back of the mind, many things are there. So that way, consciously, I can't say that I have
Mm.
got influenced by this movie or that movie.
Okay. Okay, so sir, it was really great talking to you, and I really like how, even though you are a new author and you've only published 2 books yet, but you have so much knowledge to share, and you share this knowledge with your readers in your book and this in this interview with me so freely, and I really hope you keep doing that. And thank you so much, Uttam ji, for joining me in this session. Would you like to say some last few words to the readers who might be watching this?
To the readers,
Yes,
okay.
the people who will pick up your book after watching this
To
session.
the readers, my submission will be: my detectives are not superhumans.
Hmm.
Okay, they act like real life people.
Hmm.
Most of the time, they use their brains rather than bronze, I mean, the guns or bronze, whatever.
Hmm.
As compared to modern Western thrillers,
Hmm.
there is real life at play. I'm saying the logic is there at play.
Hmm.
Logic is at play, and logical actions and reactions are taking place.
Hmm.
And as compared to modern Western thrillers, which is high voltage, uh, makeshift,
Hmm.
supernatural
Right, right.
fantasies. those things are not here, but you will like it because the story contains enough mystery element,
Mhm.
enough uh, brain element to solve those mysteries, etc., etc. So you will like that definitely. It is because
Right.
my books are written in the Indian context.
Yes.
In
Yes, and I
the
think that
life,
that is what is really important, I feel like.
uh,
Yeah,
because
because
there is someone is jumping from one aeroplane, he is driving his own submarine, and then how
yes,
does
it's
he carry
still
balance to
unrealistic,
all?
right?
But people like it, na?
Yeah.
There are people who like it.
Right.
It
No, but
is
again,
becoming.
like I said, I mean, I am really happy that you are able to weave these stories in so much logic and realism, and also like in the Indian context, which is again amazing, and which is why I am really excited for your next book as well. Hopefully, it comes soon. And again, thank you so much, Uttam ji, for joining this session today. And
How did you
uh,
like my book? How
it
did
was
you like my book?
it was really good, but that's the thing. Like, I don't want to give any spoilers to the readers who might be watching this, which is why I really want you to like I'm talking to the readers here that I really want you to pick up this book and get into how fast paced and intricate Uttam ji's writing is. So yeah. So talking about that, I hope you are able to give feedback to Uttam ji on Amazon for his book so that he knows how the audience is receiving his books. So yeah, thank you so much, Uttam ji, and I hope you have a really good day ahead.
Sure, I feel privileged to have to talk to you. It was all my pleasure. You
Thank
conducted
you.
it very nicely. Thank
Yes.
you so much.
Thank
Many,
you.
many
Bye.
thanks.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.